But prop firms that have me do coding for their new traders, they want all the chance taken out of it. So when you see a white arrow that's telling you the MACD is saying it's going to go down, you just go short. See how accurate it is? You just go long. You don't have to figure anything else out, right? So it's a good training wheels sort of for them. But let's go back to this 5-minute, 10-day chart very briefly, and we'll look to see now. Here we have tighter channels. You can see how it was respected here. Boom, 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 boom. Now it's into this channel. A channel hopped down here, and then it came back up. It hit here. Boom, boom, boom. Didn't quite make it to the top. How could we make that even easier to decide to help us say, when is that going to turn around? Well, you could mark it right there in the middle of the day. That's intraday levels, and a lot of those are respected. But it's better to go back and see. Now, we don't know this is going to happen yet. So let's just pretend we don't see that, right? Let's just get that off the screen, right? That's all we have, right? So now we're looking at historical data. We know that the price range is about here. So let's look to see where the stock stopped and abruptly turned around in the last previous 10 days. Well, right there, that was a turnaround. It might do that again, right? Look at this, completely turned around right there. It might do that again. Then we look right here, look at that. Before it dropped off, it was like, that's a serious resistance. That's right at the fib level, but let's mark it. This one's also almost made the fib, but didn't. So we would sort of smooth it out near the bodies and mark that, right? Now we're marking more. You might not want this many levels, but look at that. Look how many times that level was respected across that day, right? Now the idea is that since it was respecting it right here many times, maybe it's going to do that again. That's a pattern. That's it. It's that simple. I see all these videos that say keep it simple and all that, but it's like there's cherry picking a price level and saying when it gets here, go here. This lets you set it up every day with patterns on any stock. It's not cherry picked. You set it up, you look at it, and it might be respected. They're guidelines. That's it. They're guidelines. Again, some people will say, you don't need to do that. I'm going to know how to do it. Well, maybe they do know. I always say the best trader still hasn't been found. He's still out there somewhere. This is another level, but it's already been picked up right there. See how it came back and respected, sort of where it consolidated. So let's get a look at the 1 minute and see what did that do for us? Well, look at that channel we made. We didn't know it was going to be there, right? Look at how that tweezer move was made, and it so respected that level right there. So there you go, guys. I mean, that alone, that one level alone was the reason to mark it out, just for that one level. So now we marked, I think, a bunch up here, right? Because we didn't know the price was going to drop down there. But as the day opens, then you can go back and check for more historical data to see like, hey, it's trading down here. Is there maybe some levels now that I know it's down here that I might want to mark that I didn't mark? And there sure as heck are. Look at this one here. Okay, so actually that's already picked up. We did that. But here's one where it stopped dead and turned around. Look at it, if you smooth across all that. Well, let's go further back and see if it's picked up at all. Again, it got smoothed here and there. So that's a real serious level right there, right? And you might want to go there to that one. And then I usually don't do post and pre-market. They're not as strong. If I'm desperate, I might do that. But as you can see, you gave us more levels to look at. This gave us more levels to look at as the price gets nearer. Here's another one. Now, you just might respect these. I can see right now that came into serious play where it dipped, stopped, and turned and went right back up. What made it do that? There's liquidity pools there. There's all kinds of things going on. You don't need to know. You don't need to figure it out, right? Because they're there for you. So, you see them now and you go like, hey, that might be respected. These levels might be a place, you might be a winner. Nothing's definite ever. And anybody who says it's definite is selling you something, most likely. But now let's look to see how it tightened it up for us. And how those levels might have been respected. We still didn't get any good levels. There's some down here as we go on through the day here, but they're up here. So you've got a channel right here. This Fibonacci here, and then this historical data, which really you might as well call at the even dollar, 430. This gave you your ceiling and your floor. And then in between, the indicators help you with the whole and half dollars. They help you. So it tightened up that, not much. Tesla's a tough one, you know. But the next thing you would do if you're really getting down and dirty into marking the levels and you're trying to do what I trade is like a recoil strategy where you're waiting for to get in and you're waiting for the recoil. Like just look at one of these, either the bid or the ask. You look at a price here, like it was 20 cents, right? So if you got in long at 20 cents and it already went up to 19 cents. I call that like it went down, it recoiled up, get out. Get out. You don't wait. This actually gives you a target. This is another like a training wheels for prop firm traders if you don't understand level 2 on larger mega cap, which is different than looking at the share size, looking for it to bind up like in momentum. This is a completely different way to read that you should watch the videos because it works. It works. I mean, I have like 400 videos, and a lot of them are the RV strategy, so which is kind of what this scalping is taken after. But my point is you're in and out in 10 to 20 cents. First, you figure out how far is it really moving, and then you look for the dip based on down and dirty up close data. So I might just call that 50-cent line a line. I might say, well, look, it could dip down that far, the $0.25. So if I go in long down here as it hits here to ride it back up, I know that if it breaks that level, we're hitting new territory. I might want to get out. You know, I set my max loss down here, right? I might actually let it go past it and wait for it to break back up through and then add to my share size knowing it's going the right way and I can make more money or get out faster because my price points become better. Different ways to trade, different level and patience and risk. You have to see what's good for you. You might want to get out at 4 cents and 5 cents with 100 shares or 50 shares and just slowly build your $50 for the day or $100 for the day or $500 for the day. You know, I try to get 5,000 a day. So, you know, I started off with much less than that though, like $100 was seemed impossible when I first started to scalp and got away from swing trading. So again, that's the basic strategy though, but again, the risk level's up to you is what I mean to say.
Les dividendes sont bons, les revenus mensuels sont meilleurs. Avec Maclair, recevez des paiements chaque mois et toujours à temps. 14% de rentabilité garantie par des actifs réels d'entreprise. C'est plus prévisible que les aristocrates du dividende. Rejoignez Maclair.
That, you know you're hitting new ground. And I'm not going to break into every single indicator here and how they can really help you. But like I said, look at the video after this. But guys, that's the basic strategy. You can see me streaming for right now, although I'll be changing around different strategies. So don't forget to tune in and watch it and get ready to watch this next clip. You'll see it in action. Okay, guys, thanks for tuning in. All right, so I'm back on. Just had to do something. I made a quick trade there and got up to 182 here.
Reports that not rushing decision due to U.S. trade tensions and criticism. From Reuters sources, GOO.
That was a short I took off of this area right here, which is not, that's a intraday level, so it's not really, I mean, it seems to be respecting it, but I wouldn't trust it for very long here, so. But the 428 I will. I'll go short off the 428 to try to catch a recoil on 100 shares and be prepared to add to my share size up to 200 if there's an opportunity to do so. Tried to get in, got in. It hurt me right away. To add to my share size here, I'm going to have to do market. Oops. So, holding that even dollar, which is not great news for me because I'm right below it. I thought I got it at the even dollar. I see now that I didn't. So it gave me a really bad fill on when I hit the ask, unfortunately. So that's going to hurt my position here. So sometimes when you get a bad position, it's better just to take the loss right away. I'm not doing that. I'm actually going to add to it up here. So it's 57. 60, 60. I'm going to do it off that 70 level. So now I'm up to 24 now, 24 cents, and I'm looking to buy out. Oh, it's hurting me. It's hurting me. Really hoping it rejects off that fib, or it's going to be a bad trade. My max share size, I believe I can go ahead and get 50 shares more in. Yep, I did. So I'm up to 250 now, and I'm at 37 cents, and really risking it by adding to the share size, waiting for the dip off the VWAP. I want to see a big dip off the VWAP. I'm at 37 cents here, but it's getting closer to my position. But that's 250 shares, so it's a bigger risk with Tesla. You can move $1 in a split second. So I'm looking for this to go down right now and not keep going up. I mean, I can hold it a little longer off this level, but it starts to get really painful if it doesn't go down. So yeah, it's not going down. So it's going to get this could put me in the red. I'm okay. I'll hold it into the red. This is a different kind of trading where I'm not streaming with you guys, but I am staying within the rules of the PDT, but I'm not trading quite as conservative. So you can judge whether it's something you want to try to do or not. If I go really red, you're probably going to pick not. But if it works out really well, you go like, damn, I should just trade. Why doesn't he show that all the time? Because you just don't know, guys. That's the thing. You just don't know. So now when I do get out, I want to see this strong to hit the bid. I can't see this nonsense because I want the bid to fill. And if it's doing really up and down right at my position, it could be. So there was a profit for a brief second. But, I'm looking for something a little bigger now that I have this many shares like that. Let's see if it gets it. Right there. It's right there. It almost picked me up, but it didn't. Swailing down. Here it goes. That should get me. I'm right at the level, but it didn't pick me. Well, you wonder sometimes, right? The games they play, you just wonder. But that broke 200 on this, so nice and green. Let's get back down to 100 shares here. So going long off that same level again is tempting. It did break it though, right? So if I go long and I add, which is far more risky, you haven't been seeing me do that, I have a chance for it to recover. So we're way, this is where it was hitting 26. This is a little over $1 down where it reversed before. If I get in now at this level, which is tempting, but I'm waiting to see if it's going to break it. I want to see it break it, really, is what I want to see it do. And I'd love to go long from down here, but I don't want to go long right on this level right now. So there's a break at the 50 cents. I already could have done a little trade there. I say I want to see it break it, but I'm not confident enough to go short. So there's always a mixed feeling here. There's people trading alongside me right now with 1,000 to 2,000 shares, so I have to take that into consideration as it might slightly front run my position if 20 people are trading 2,000 shares all in a split second when you only have that kind of volume. So I have to think about that as I'm trading, and I take that into account. That it may actually influence. So it's really hard with a stock like this, but it's possible. So there's our ATR, low, the whole ATR, not the RV ATR. So we're really near a support level here. And a couple of times it didn't quite make it. And then this, it did finally make it and break it. So we'll go, there it goes. So now it's down to the fib at 27 even for a second there. And I'm getting more interested in testing it long here. Already could have gone 50 cents on there, huh? Or 40 cents anyway. Yep, I just didn't grab it quick enough. The way it moved down, it looked like it might do a second pound. Yeah, there it goes. Well, that's too bad. I missed that move, and I'm kind of afraid to chase it up. So I would tend to go for a short up here again. I have to wait this out, guys. Every time it does this, then I have to, recalibrate, like where are we moving in here? Is it about to do 2 more of those? So I have to just take a breath and see, is it going to start giving us some consolidation, and then you try to catch that move the right way, or just trade the consolidation on the recoils. The way I move this chart around, it reminds me I was very young and driving stick shifts for the first time. And I just was at the, whenever I came to a stoplight or something, I constantly worked the gear level to make sure it was in neutral and then first, so I'm ready to go on first, just constantly. And I was selling, I already had businesses then, and I was selling a boat to a guy from Swedish guy, if he happens to be listening. And he finally reached over and he put his hand on top of my hand on the gear shift and just said, like, "What are you doing? Stop it," in his Swedish accent. "You're in first gear." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, all right, man." It's like, "You're wearing out your gearbox, just moving it around." Okay. Calm down. It's my friggin' car. But I move the chart constantly, like up and down, and it kind of reminds, like, you're just fidgeting. What are you doing? It's not giving me more data, right? It's just, you get bored. That's the way I don't take a trade so much. I look, think about it. Look at level 2. Think about it.